to continue with House of the Rising Sun in the right hand, we want to go from the pinky on A in the middle of the piano to the pinky on A an octave higher, because that's the next note after a number of rests. Lyric, and it's been, those are 3 high A's in a row. They're marked in the music above the staff with a line going through them. So that's the highest note we're going to hit in the song. 3 in a row. Okay? But then after we're done with that, we go back into the A, B, C, D, E position. Not the one we started with, which was the low A, but the actual middle A position. And if we stay in that position, we can continue the piece with B, C, C. Notice the C's are connected and fast. C, D, D, A. Long A after 2 short D's. Rest, A, A. Okay, that brings us to that next section where we're going to dip down to an E. And since that's pretty far to go with the right hand having to dip, we're going to actually move our hand to the left so that it's on E. Thumb, that is on E. And as a result, F is pointer, G is middle, and there will be a G sharp. So the middle finger will go to the black key to the right, and then A. B we never actually play. So after the 2 A's, we play G, A, and God. After a rest, A, G sharp, E. That's a very important note, that G sharp. In the right hand, we're playing a sharp. I believe that may be our very first one we've ever played in the right hand. But because we played E in the left hand with the sharp in it, we're pretty used to it. After a rest, we play G sharp again, and back to A, longer A. And then a lot of rests with just chords. That's the complete House of the Rising Sun, in that it doesn't have any more melody notes. So let's remember when we play the piece that we must have many different fingering positions to be able to accomplish it. And now comes the both hand versions of House of the Rising Sun. Now, to accomplish both hands, we need quite a bit of room on the keyboard. So I'm moving the camera just a bit so that it covers all the areas we'll be in. For instance, the left hand, first chord, A minor, has the pinky all the way on this A, and the right hand, highest note A, has the pinky all the way on this high A. So that's how far the hands will be stretched out to play both hands on the House of the Rising Sun. It's a long ways, and I want to make sure that it's no problem for you. So once again, moving the camera, that is, to accommodate that. Here's the left hand, here's the right hand. And that kind of got rid of the right hand for us, so one little scoop. There, both hands in plain sight. All right, so when we begin the song, we begin with the lowest A in the right hand that goes with the A minor chord in the left. Okay, and there are 2 A's, the first one without a chord, and the second one with. After a rest, the right hand plays B, and then when it hits the C, there's a C chord with it. And that's convenient. After a rest, the right hand hits E, and when there's a D, there's a D chord with it. Those low A's are part of that D chord, so you could play them in the right hand or the left hand, your choice. Then comes the F chord of the left hand. Now the right hand doesn't play during this because it has rests underneath that chord, which allows it to go into a new finger position with the pinky on A now. So use the time during the F chord to get your right hand out of there and pinky on A. Once you hit the A, the second A has A minor with it, so the left hand will be going back to the A minor it started with. After a very long A, a short one, and then G with the C chord. Notice how the ring finger's on that G. E is after that, And the second E has the E chord, which is convenient. When E and E are together, we like that. Kind of like when A and A are together. But the next A in this song, after a long rest, is way up here. And the third A of that group has an A minor playing with it. So this is the longest stretch of the song. This is where your hands are the furthest apart they'll ever be. Okay? That moves us, after that, we're done with that position. That moves us back into the A, B, C, D, E position. And we play B, C, C. Notice how that has a C chord. Once again, very convenient. After rests, another C, but then D, D with a D chord and a long A. Very convenient. After a rest, two more A's. Then we play the F chord. Now, at this point, you'll want to scoot your hand even more leftward so that your thumb's on E. If your thumb's on E, pointer's on F, middle's on G, and ring finger is on A. So we play G, A with an A minor. After a rest, we play A again, but with the E chord way up here. Notice that the left hand has to make a big move to the E chord. Comes the G sharp. They match. See, there's a G sharp in the E chord and a G sharp in the right hand, as well as an E. And after a rest, back to that G sharp. And when it lands on A, it lands with an A minor chord, another big jump for the left hand. At this point, the left hand takes over as it's all rests in the right hand. And these are the chords that the left hand plays, often in alphabetical order, but always returning to the A minor. And when you have to go to the E from that, you jump to the E because your pinky's on the E, and then back to the A minor, your thumb's on the E, and back to the E. Now it repeats, so I'm going to go over it one more time. This time I'm just going to play through. So there you go. 2 times through the House of the Rising Sun. And instead of going into the multiple endings, which means we would play it maybe 6 times total, we go to the coda. And the coda shows A minor, D minor, A minor, D minor, back and forth, A minor, D minor, and finally it ends on A minor. And that's the House of the Rising Sun with both hands.